Michael, I read and really appreciated an article that you wrote for theGrio, where you really just go at it and you take issue with a lot of headlines that are saying that it's the black male vote that could cost Democrats, quote unquote, in these midterms, or Stacey Abrams in particular, who's running for governor in the state of Georgia. Kind of unpack that and what you are expressing by way of kind of the irresponsibility, is how I took your article, of what it is to blame and scapegoat black men for these potential outcomes.
You know, before I was a writer or a journalist, I was, well, I still am, I guess, an economist. I taught and studied macroeconomics. And so what people don't do is just look at data and facts when they're talking about things that become part of the mainstream narrative. Again, black men, a percentage of black men are going to be more conservative, just as that holds true for all men. And so what people are doing when they talk about this is holding black men to a standard that they don't hold any other constituency of voters. And the reason that is a problem is because of a number of reasons. First of all, you can't dismiss the fact that black men are the Democratic Party's second most reliable constituency, right? Like, only black women are as dedicated and loyal to the Democratic Party as black men as far as voting is concerned. Now, you know, the fact that black people aren't necessarily loyal to the Democratic Party as they are to themselves, because it is our only avenue to make an impact in politics. You could argue that fact, right? Because, like, black people really don't love the Democratic Party. They love themselves. And like they don't love them any more than a carpenter loves a hammer or a swimmer loves earplugs, right? It is a tool for which we can realize our political goals. And so that's one of the main problems. And the second problem is that, like, you can talk about the black male vote and why it's so, you know, it's a little bit below black women's vote, but then you have to also talk about the fact that a lot of black men are 3 times more likely to be disenfranchised because of felony voting laws, right? Or you have to talk about the fact that we know that people who earn less money are less likely to vote, and black men have a wage gap. You have to talk about you have to talk about the education gap. You have to talk about all of that before you can even get to the results of the disparity between black men and black women voting. And then again, you have to acknowledge that, oh yeah, but they're still pretty reliable.
The number of black men who have voted for Trump in both elections is still nominal. We're still talking about less than 20%. It's still a very low number, but it is an uptick of what typical Republicans see.
A controversial thing that no one talks about is that there's a certain percentage of black men who marry and date and are in relationships with white women. You know, and men are more likely to vote the party or the political ideology of their partner, a little bit more likely to be conservative, because, you know, the Republican Party appeals to the kind of misogynoir, the kind of misogyny that is prevalent in America. They appeal to patriarchy. Some men find this appealing because of the little bit of power that they have comes from their maleness and not from their talent or their ability or their smartness. Just because I'm a man and I should be the leader, and that's what Republicans say, and they put a little bit of white supremacy mayonnaise on top of that.
Before I let you go, I do want to just run down a theme that you write about continuously, and that is what happens when people treat black voters like a monolith.
One of the things that the Democratic Party does is they appeal to those top line issues and forget that black voters, again, are human beings and people who have economic concerns, who have educational concerns. And when you go to the white places and you talk about, for instance, healthcare, when you talk about educational opportunities, when you talk about the tax burden, and then come to black places and only talk about criminal justice issues or only talk about racism, what you do is treat and dismiss the real everyday concerns. We have economic concerns too. We are affected by inflation, by global politics, and you should talk to us like you talk to everyone else.